Good afternoon. Appreciate you hopping on to showcase SmartConnect in action with Salesforce today. My name is Luke Steckler, Partner Development Manager here at E1 Solutions, and we'll be walking through a few different integration scenarios with Salesforce and with SmartConnect. I want this to be pretty informal, so if you guys have thoughts or feedback or questions as we go through, don't hesitate to chime in and let me know. I think virtually everyone is integrating with a nav or GP. If you're not, let me know. Feel free to drop that in the questions of the chat, and we'll try to incorporate a few things that might be particular to you all. So quick high-level agenda. We'll kind of cover at a high level what is SmartConnect, walk through a live demo. You all have the opportunity to put in some live data if you want to. We'll circle back with training and resources, and obviously want to leave it wide open to Q&A throughout our time together today. And probably with any luck, we'll get everyone out of here well ahead of the hour we blocked off. So SmartConnect overall, again, really an integration tool, connects Salesforce with virtually anything out there. Built by the team at E1 Solutions. We're headquartered in Fargo, North Dakota, with teams in Austin, Texas, Copenhagen, Denmark, and Sydney, Australia. So I've worked on hundreds of Salesforce integrations over the years, integrated with hundreds of different applications. So really, one of the main reasons we've had a lot of success with SmartConnect is the ability to handle all the complexities, all the nuances, all the different pieces that go into integration without needing to write a developer. So you don't need to write any code. You don't need to be a developer to be able to create, to maintain, or manage these things long term. We tried to take care of all of that heavy lifting for you inside of SmartConnect. So again, we'll focus a lot today on Salesforce. And again, I think most of you guys are doing nav or GP, but we've got a lot of flexibility with SmartConnect. We can tap into, again, virtually everything in the Microsoft ecosystem. We've done NetSuite integration, any file or folder data source, anywhere the data is coming through there can come inside to SmartConnect. Additionally, we've also got a REST and SOAP API connector. So virtually any application that has an API, SmartConnect can tap into. So virtually anything that's in the cloud, if it's got an API, there's a pretty good chance that we can integrate with it. Additionally, if you've got any old on-premise legacy type systems, we can tap into a variety of those at the database level as well with our SQL or ODBC connections. So long story short, you got a lot of flexibility to not only bring in some of those common systems together with Salesforce, but also to really expand this in a lot of different ways if or when it's appropriate. All right, so kind of when we think about SmartConnect at a very high level, this is a good diagram that I like to use. Kind of think of SmartConnect as the ability to draw a line between any of these sources and any of these destinations. That's really what we're going to be working with and talking through today. The beauty within that is that you've got a lot of flexibility. So with SmartConnect, you can process these integrations in real time. We can have scheduled integrations as often as every minute on the minute. We can have changes only integrations. You've got, and again, that might look different based on the different processes or objects or entities that you're integrating between the various systems. So accounts and contacts and invoices and opportunities might function more on a near real-time basis, while things like price lists might be updated at the end of every month or the end of every quarter. Along the way, we've got the ability to be able to mix and match and make sure that data, no matter where it's coming from, matches where we're sending it to. So that's that whole data transformation component. So everything from translations to hard coding to rolling columns. So if we're creating invoices, for example, making sure that we're creating those on a continual rolling basis. Same thing with accounts that we're creating. All that automation that's going on behind the scenes. Again, a few different examples of where a lot of our partners and customers are seeing success with SmartConnect, specifically inside of Salesforce, is eliminating duplicate data entry. So if you have individuals that need to enter data into Salesforce or enter that into other systems, we can look at automating that with SmartConnect. So how can we make sure that, one, we have a strong quality of data, that all of the requirements are being met. SmartConnect can be a great utilized on that side of things, exchanging data between systems. So again, the Salesforce ERP example is perfect in that side of the fence. Automating business processes. So for example, whether it's, we use this internally a lot. Our website is all driven by SmartConnect, and as orders come in, we have those created inside our CRM system. They're created inside of our ERP system. The customer is. we create those products and those invoices. That's all automated behind the scenes utilizing SmartConnect. So we, again, can automate a lot of man hours and what would be manual labor utilizing a tool like this. All right, so let's dive in and start to bring things to life. So kind of our demo scenario that we'll see today is data coming into an e-commerce site. We'll see that going into Salesforce, into our dynamic CRP, and kind of working seamlessly across the board between the two. There we go. Perfect. So I'm going to dive into our sandbox. And before I go into Salesforce, I'm going to place a couple orders. If you guys want to, feel free to come. Whoops. There we go. I'll place one in here, and then I'll show you guys how you can do the same. So feel free to go out to demo.e1solutions.com. I popped that into the chat there for everybody. You can enter a real name, you can enter a fake name. It's completely up to you. You can pick regular, VIP. Again, the choice is yours. I'll pop in a few of these, and then I'll kind of explain what's going on behind the scenes. All right, so kind of the theme behind our demo scenario today is that we have people registering for a party. We've got you signing up for a party, and we want you to come out here and register so that way we can know how to contact you, so we can let you know the details of the party, send you the menu, ticket information, timing, agenda, all those fun things. So we're creating that data inside of Salesforce. We're also creating it inside of GP. We're creating invoices to attend the party. So there's a lot of automation that's going on off of just really two different fields that we're putting in. So we're creating accounts, we're creating contacts, we are assigning those contacts as primary contacts in the account, we're adding those individuals to a marketing list, we're creating them in the ERP side, as I mentioned, and creating invoices and tying those back to that customer as well. So really based off of just two fields, one auto-generated field and a list option, we're handling all of that automation behind the scenes. So a lot of kind of, again, flexibility and a kind of a cool example of showing some of the ways that you can really automate a lot of these pieces within your business utilizing a tool like SmartConnect. So I'm going to dive into GP, and we're going to go ahead and pull open Smart View, and I'm going to look at all of the orders that have come in so far today. There we go. So we've got a handful that have come in already. You can see the ones that I entered there. And again, VIP is a custom field. So that's a field that's not native in this instance to GP, not native to Salesforce. So if all of your customizations, all of the nuances and the different data points that you have that are specific to your systems, your environments, it's not a problem. SmartConnect can handle all of them. So we're really tapping into each of these systems at the database or API level and bringing those all front and center. So any customizations, anything that you have, not a problem for SmartConnect to integrate. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and select a class. We're going to go ahead and enter an address, and I'm actually going to update and add a phone number on that too for Minnie. So our accounting team was able to grab some information for this customer, and we are going to go ahead and make those updates so that those fly over to the Salesforce side. So our first integration, I forgot to mention this, our first integration was actually a scheduled integration. So I placed those orders from the demo site. Those were coming over every minute on the minute. SmartConnect's going in and looking for new orders that have been placed on that, populating those inside of Salesforce and inside of GP. This now is a real-time integration. So the moment I hit save, that's what's firing the triggers on SmartConnect to make the updates between Salesforce and between GP. So I go inside of Salesforce, there we go. If I pull open Minnie's account, saw she was in there. There we go. Perfect. So here we can see again the contact that's been created, and I should actually have, I clicked on the contact record when I wanted to flip to the account record. There we go. So you saw that contact we created. Again, it also created an account under that. Flip to the details side. There's the address that we entered. There's that phone number. We've got our date and time stamp. Again, when was this data created inside of Salesforce? So all happening truly in real time between the two different systems. Now let's go ahead and actually add an opportunity. Here, we're just gonna have that close. We'll have it close today. Put that in the prospecting stage. And then I'm gonna go ahead and dive into this opportunity just a hair further. And we're gonna add a couple products. So I'm gonna add some products. One of the first things you'll notice is Salesforce asked me to confirm the price book and the price sheet. This is another very common integration scenario for SmartConnect. So making sure that we're keeping all of the price lists inside Salesforce accurate based on our ERP or wherever that data is coming in from. And again, when I talk about Salesforce, it's really everything under Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Manufacturing Cloud, Commerce Cloud, virtually everything under the sun. SmartConnect can tap into. So if you got questions or based on different clouds that you're using inside of Salesforce, let us know. We'd be happy to kind of elaborate on that further. We're going to go with the stock price list here. And then I'm going to go ahead and add 2 products. We'll go ahead and pick a couple quantities. And we're going to save that. All right, so I've got that opportunity sitting out there. But as we were kind of talking about earlier, with each SmartConnect integration, you not only have the ability to define, how often you want those integrations to fire, but you can also incorporate some criteria to make sure that every step or every stage is being processed before that integration runs. So for example, maybe we're having contacts created inside of Salesforce and we only want them to go to our ERP system when that account is flagged as a customer field. And again, that might be custom, might be a drop down, but that might be a really good cross check because we probably don't want all of our prospects or potential customers or partners or again people that we're talking to inside our CRM system, we don't all need or want those inside of our ERP. So that's a really good example of that. Another one we can showcase here. So we've got that pending opportunity out there, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up my Salesforce to GP integrations. If I pull open this one, and this is the integration that's taking opportunities in Salesforce and creating them as invoices inside of GP, if I go ahead and preview this, I shouldn't see any records. And I don't. So that's great. Don't see anything there, which is absolutely perfect because we built some criteria around this integration to say, okay, SmartConnect, we only want you to populate invoices on those opportunities when that's marked as closed won. So if I go ahead and save that, and now I come back in here and preview, there we go. I've got my 2 line items, one for each product that I created. I could wait for that schedule, or I could just drive it right while I'm in here. SmartConnect's going to fire, and we're going to go ahead and process that successfully. Awesome. Took us just a couple seconds, and we've now created those invoices inside of GP. So if I flip back, get off of the sales entry, and if I refresh Smart View, there we go. There's that new invoice that we created. Dive in deeper. I can see each of the product lines. There's the quantities that we entered. And if you'll notice as well, this is invoice 2619. So if I come back here, refresh on that opportunity page, we've also had SmartConnect right back at the Salesforce level and read back our ERP tax number to us, or our invoice number right from the ERP. So now we've got that tracked and logged and monitored on this side. So a couple pretty cool examples there of the ability to truly kind of integrate, bring data back and forth between a couple of these different systems. Any questions or anything so far before I maybe kind of dive into to SmartConnect and what's going on behind the scenes? Feel free to chime those into the chat or inside the questions pane, and happy to talk through any of those with anybody. All right, I'll give a few of you any moments if you want to. If not, until then, I'm going to dive into just SmartConnect itself, and we'll showcase what's kind of going on behind the scenes. Alrighty. So let's dive back into that SmartConnect map. So as I kind of mentioned earlier, one of the beauties of SmartConnect is that you don't need to be a developer to build out integrations. So when I pull up any specific integration, I get it at a base level. I've got my source and I've got my destination. Where's my data coming from? Where's it going to? Again, in this instance, whoops, we're coming from Salesforce. And I can even look at the some of the restrictions we've built out here, and I can see, okay, here's where we've told SmartConnect there has to be an opportunity line item, and that opportunity has to be marked as closed won before we want this integration to process and flow. So that's a really good example and a showcase of how and where we can build in some of those criteria. And we can tap into, again, virtually everything at the Salesforce level and everything at the GP level. So every group, every node, not a problem for SmartConnect. We can bring all of those together. If you've got multiple companies or multiple orgs on each side, again, not a problem for SmartConnect. We can include each and all of those across the board. One of the really powerful things as well is that you can have a single, you don't have to build separate integrations if you have multiple companies. So you can have a single integration flowing across multiple Salesforce orgs, multiple GP companies. Additionally, if there are certain parameters or definitions that define what data needs to go between one or the other, it's not a problem. We can go ahead and add separate definitions. So maybe, products 1 through 10 need to go to company A, 11 through 29 need to go to company B and C. Some of those can be defaulted, so SmartConnect is automatically handling some of that data storage and that data storing. And then diving in a little bit deeper, this is what I wanted to click. There we go. Looking at, okay, where's the actual mapping going on from one side to the other? We'll pull up in that mapping window. And I can see on the left side, this is my source, and the right side is my destination. So this is all the data inside of SmartConnect for this particular case, so all the things that are coming from that opportunity. Anything, again, a fun fact, anything with an underscore C is a custom field inside of SmartConnect, or inside of GP, or inside of Salesforce, excuse me. So SmartConnect can tap into all those, so things like, again, GP customer number and tracking ID, those are all custom fields. Anything that's highlighted in red, in this case on the GP side, is a required field to create that invoice. So we've got all of those mapped accordingly across the board. There are some auto mapping functionalities. If you want auto map based on technical name or based on display name, not a problem. Really easy to do so. Okay. Additionally, guys, the one piece I was going to touch on there as well is some of that kind of additional, we call them additional columns, but helps handle a lot of that additional transformation. So, for example, the rolling columns. So as we were creating subsequent invoices, 2618, 2619, 2620, so on and so forth down the line, here's where we're building in those. Again, that could be calculated fields, translation tables, different lookups. You've got lots of functionality and lots of customization. Regardless of where that data is coming from or where it's going to. All right, from there, we've also got one of the next powerful pieces, and I'm actually just pull open a different map briefly because I know it's got some cool examples in it. One of the next biggest pieces within an individual integration that I like to touch on is the tasks side of things. So this, again, gives you a lot more flexibility. So you've got the ability to chain different maps together to process different files, run different scripting, or even bring emails in as certain stages or elements of the integration are complete. So for example, on success or failure, email is probably one of the most popular ones. We can not only notify you or whoever on your team is managing and maintaining some of these things long term that, hey, this integration process successfully, or probably more importantly, let's say we handled a couple thousand records and there were 3 errors. SmartConnect can proactively let a team email box or a few individuals, whoever needs to know, hey, this map it ran at this date, it ran on this time, there were 3 records that erred, dive into SmartConnect and get those resolved. But we're proactively trying to do everything that we can on our side to say, hey, something happened here, dive in, and that way everyone is aware and we can get it addressed in one way or another. And I'll show you where that happens in just a moment, but I wanted to cover this on the front end first. You can see what we're doing proactively to make sure that the things are up and at them. All right, the last piece, so real-time integration. So again, those are functioning and triggering in real time based on when those records are saved or deleted or created, etc. If you're doing scheduled integrations, you've got a ton of flexibility there though too. The ability to say, hey, maybe I only want this integration to run during business days. Maybe I only want it to run, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Maybe I want it to run as often as every minute, every 10 minutes. Again, tons of flexibility, and that could be very different from accounts and invoices to contacts to price books to anything under the sun. So again, depending on how your business works and flows, you've got the customization to handle this all inside of SmartConnect. All right, I told you that I would close the loop on the error handling piece. Let's do that right now. All right, so I'm diving in, and we're gonna look. So let's say again, I got a call where I got an email, was run number 16, CRM to nav. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this one up. So this one erred because we tried to pass in a value that had too many characters. So it had 58 characters, but the max inside of our ERP was 50. So fairly common scenario. Something got a little screwy with our data, but the beauty is I don't have to even access either system to make those changes. So I can come right inside of the SmartConnect interface, and I've got a ton of erroneous sweet bees there. I'm just going to go ahead and take those out. That looks good on that one. I'm going to do the same here. Okay, that looks good. Now all I have to do is rerun it right inside of the interface. SmartConnect's going to pop that up. Awesome, that was successful. We resolved that error. It took us just a couple seconds to do so. So again, that easy, you can identify, okay, what's going wrong, what's happening, and what can we do to rectify and make some of this better. One of the last things that I'll touch on inside of here, actually, first off, let me flip back to, so one of the biggest pieces that we've tried to do is to make some of these processes as easy as possible, especially in getting started with SmartConnect. And a big factor in that is utilizing some of the templates that we've built out. So we've got a lot of SmartConnect templates to help kind of provide as a starting infrastructure for your integrations. So for example, Salesforce and GP. So we've got pre-built integrations here around accounts and items, price books, users, opportunities to invoices. And I kind of say, think of these like you're framing a house. The heavy lifting's been done, all the studs and everything are in place, yet you can still customize the flooring, the paint colors, the countertops, all of that. You can do the same thing with these templates. So again, the heavy lifting has been done, the structure's in place, and you can pick out your criteria, the timing, the fields you're mapping, all of that functionality and flexibility still exists, yet the heavy lifting's been done. So trying to give you a really good framework to get started with, yet recognizing every business uses these applications differently. Every business has slightly different processes, so we want to allow you the flexibility to be able to utilize these to maximize and make them work best within your business. And then the next piece of that is the ability to easily import those directly inside of SmartConnect. And here's where you can do that right inside of the maintenance tab. So super easy to make that happen. Additionally, kind of the environment that I'm demoing out of here is our sandbox environment. So this is a free resource, just sandbox.e1solutions.com. And we have a variety of integrations built out here. So if you ever want to go back to, go back to maps. So if you ever want to import or export any of these integrations that we've already built and kind of use them as a framework for things that you're doing on your side of the fence, not a problem to handle either. The last piece here that I'll touch on is that REST connector. It's the ability to tap into, again, virtually any API, virtually any web service to essentially create your own custom connection inside of SmartConnect. So Concur, HubSpot, Zendesk, again, are some really popular ones that we've worked with in the past. Shopify, e-commerce sites are pretty popular as well. And all I need to do is essentially going to upload some of the JSON files and define my groups and methods. And I'm essentially building out a new custom connector that SmartConnect can then use as a source, a destination, all like we've done with Salesforce, with GP, with NAV, Business Central, everything else across the board. Any other questions or anything on this side of the fence? I haven't seen anything come through yet before we close the loop on a couple different pieces. All right. Pretty easy thus far. The last thing I'll showcase, pricing. All right, there we've got. All right, we'll touch on pricing here. So the beauty with SmartConnect is we try to make it as comprehensive for you as possible. So you've got a couple different options within our SmartConnect subscriptions, and the only variable here is the number of systems you're connecting to. So for example, Salesforce and GP, that's 2 connections. So within that, you have an unlimited number of integrations, an unlimited number of users. You can integrate as many different times as you want to between that. Files are a really popular one. But we try to make that again simple and easy so that all you need to do is, whether it's an Excel file, a flat file, CSV, text, XML, those are all bundled into what we call a file connection, and that's a single connection regardless of how many files and the data sources you're bringing those from. So a lot of flexibility on that side of the fence. We also offer a variety of training options. So we've got our self-paced trainings. We do public online trainings. Private online trainings are probably the most popular. Those are really a one-on-one session for you and anyone else in your team directly with one of our consultants and trainers. They're purchased in 4 or 8 hour blocks and typically delivered in 1 or 2 hour segments. And there, again, we can get really granular, really specific on what you want to cover and the scenarios that you're working on. So maybe it's something specific with Salesforce or things that you have going on. We can dive in there. We can talk through best practices. We can make sure that everyone on your team is very well equipped and set up for success. If you ever want to have our team help out with, a certain piece of the project, we can certainly do that. We do have a professional services team that can offer things on a consulting engagement level to build out and maintain a lot of these pieces. We also have some pre-built offerings. Maybe it's just a SmartConnect install or a plug and play or some different service packs or template installations. We can handle some of those as well. I just noticed that I actually have our old slide in here. We will be doing our last boot camp of the year in Atlanta a few weeks from now. And we also just rolled out our 2020 boot camp schedule, but those can be another really great training resource. Really think of these as a small classroom setting to be able to dive in with SmartConnect. So as our trainer, it's a small group of anywhere from 8 to 10 to 12 individuals on a 2-day class where we really take you from beginning to end, everything that you need to know about SmartConnect that you'd want to know to get started with plenty of customization, again, kind of tailored to what you're working on. One question, so on where to download the templates. I know I kind of flew through that. So I'll go back to the home page here. So there's actually a couple different places. If you're on the E1 website, here's our homepage. Just go over to downloads. And the specific downloads you're going to be looking for this instance is SmartConnect and then templates. And you'll be able to access them from right under there. Or again, if you ever want to, software, SmartConnect, you can go to downloads here too. It takes you to the same place. So got some options, but yes, those can be a really good resource. Any other questions? Let me know. Otherwise, again, we check out the templates, check out the things we have going on. We always offer for new customers a free 30-day trial if you want to dive in. More than happy to make sure that you guys are set up for success. One other resource that I'll showcase that I think is often underutilized on our website is if you go here to the little, we're actually working on revamping this and bringing some of this stuff more front and center. But if you go ahead and that search icon, there are a ton of tips and tricks articles. So I'm just going to search Salesforce SmartConnect. And you're going to get some stuff just from our generic website, but probably a ton of different Tech Tuesday articles, help articles that we've written over the years to situations specific to Salesforce with SmartConnects, understanding Salesforce queries, external ID fields, connecting without a security token, troubleshooting real-time maps. So again, there are a ton of good resources in here that we're doing a better job. We're trying to do a better job of bringing those front and center, but that also might be a really good resource for you all as you're looking at some things, as you're considering and building some of these pieces out. So don't hesitate to go in there. And again, you can search for different pieces, different kind of, again, keywords. You're going to be able to get a lot of different content. There are a lot of things going on behind the scenes there that can help with some of this stuff. Any other questions? Questions, thoughts, feedback overall? Don't hesitate to chime in. If not, appreciate everyone carving some time out of their Thursday to join in. Definitely get you all out of here with plenty of time to spare and some more time back in your day. Feel free to reach out if we can help at all further. And have a great rest of your day. Thanks, everybody. Take care.